All righty, welcome back to another episode of Two Plane Sports. Today we got another good one for you. Oklahoma is set to host a talented incoming senior, I guess, into high school, and then potentially a transfer portal target that they're going to be hosting here in the next few weeks. So we're going to be talking about that and anything else that comes to mind as we're going down this rabbit hole. But before we get into it, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Apple, Spotify, and not TikTok. Everything's linked in the description below. All right. So Oklahoma is set to later this week be hosting 2025 four-star defensive back Malik Hawkins, which I think some people are familiar with a guy by the name of Malik Hawkins, and that last name might be awfully familiar to you guys. Oklahoma set to host him this week. He's got a commitment date. I think it was early April. He's publicly put on Twitter, no specific date. He's coming back for a visit. It seems like, with his brother on the roster, commitment date coming soon, you're coming up for another visit. I'd imagine coming to see some spring practices and stuff. It looks halfway decent for Oklahoma. What do you think, Jose?
No, I agree with you. Early April is right around the corner, so could be committing next week for all we know. Since you mentioned and pointed out he doesn't have an exact date publicized, wouldn't be surprised if it's like end of next week. Fridays seem to be a popular day to commit for most guys, especially since they can celebrate on the weekend with their families and friends. They'll have it points it in the right direction for Oklahoma, just because you see that the value that Coach Venables is always preaching about family being proven and actually acted upon. You saw it last year with Eli Bowen and Peyton Bowen. We're seeing it this cycle with Mike and Malik. I'm sure there's gonna be other examples in the future under Coach Venables, but Malik, as a player himself, very talented defensive back. His dad played DB back in college, so he has someone that he grew up with that played at a very high level, played professional football as a DB for a few years. So his dad definitely knows how to help him and point him in the right direction with his position, get him prepared. He's playing in one of the highest classes of football in the state of Texas. So as long as he can excel there, I don't think, if you don't look at the rating, and I believe he's a 4-star, and I think you mentioned that, he's a very talented defensive back that, regardless of ranking, I don't know if he's going to be an impact player year one. If he is, then that shows how talented he really is, but he'll at least be a good depth piece for a couple years before he gets an opportunity himself.
Yeah, this is about as safe as you can feel about a guy that has not yet committed, that you're going to get his commitment. You mentioned Eli and Peyton Bowen. You saw it under Brent Venables with Day and Deshaun McCullough. Obviously, Day ended up transferring out. You see it work against you with Talon Shetron, who went to play with his brother, I guess, who's never going to see the field at Oklahoma State, that tight end guy. But, it never sucks to have your brother on your team. It always usually works in your favor. And you add another talented corner to that defensive back room. So there's a lot of positives here. He's got good size, good length. It's good.
Odds are, I would say the safe bet is that he will be a part of this class at some point, probably within the next 3 weeks, I would imagine, if he's sticking to his early April schedule. And as we're recording this is late March, so
3 weeks would be pushing it. That'd be almost late April.
That is fair. At the end of the day, it's probably going to be. It could be this weekend. For all we know. At the end of the day, it's still into March. I know it's not April, but I don't know. Coming up for a visit. Do what?
The end of March is pretty much early April.
Pretty much. I agree. It all blends together, right?
How the calendar works.
Believe it or not, contrary to popular belief. Okay. So, obviously we feel good about where Oklahoma's at there. So that's another guy that seems like it's trending well for Oklahoma. Later this week, obviously, Oklahoma's in the running for Toya Blaylock. If you hadn't seen our video earlier this week on that, March 29th. So Oklahoma could be in line for a couple commitments over the next couple weeks. So we could finally start heating up a little bit on the recruiting trail, which would be good. So moving on, shifting gears to the transfer portal. Oklahoma, we were looking at it before we started recording. Oklahoma has a need along the interior defensive line. And obviously, Oklahoma's got talented players from the last class with Jaden Jackson and David Stone. I mean, two of the best, if not the, two of the best top 10 interior defensive linemen in the class coming in as freshmen. But the problem is you need players that can play tomorrow, and not saying that neither one of them could not play tomorrow, but a little bit of the depth and a little bit of the experience pays dividends, especially in the SEC. So Oklahoma is hosting a player from the Indiana Hoosiers, Philip Blighty. Blighty, I think that's how you say his name. I am a great person to butcher a name, but he's what is it?
Bladai is what I'm guessing that.
Bladai. Okay. So yeah, Philip Bladai from Brandon. But he's a 6'3", 295-pound interior defensive lineman. Indiana was his second school, started out in college at Texas Tech in 2020 and came out of the state of New Mexico. I was reading he's actually married and he's got a couple kids, so he's definitely a little bit more on the mature side and probably looking for more professional development and getting ready for the NFL. And he's probably looking at schools that can get him there. And it seems like Oklahoma is obviously one of those places where you could go. But coming in, he played in 2020 for Texas Tech, but that's the COVID year. And then he played 3 other years already, 23, 22, 21, and did not redshirt in any of those years. So he's coming in. He's going to have basically 1 year of eligibility left this fall. And he made his first career start for Indiana or in college last season for Indiana. And he's put together some solid stats. Again, interior defensive linemen do not jump off the charts as far as the interior defensive line unless you are the elite of the elite, the Aaron Donalds of the world. Jose, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree with that last assessment. People are going to look at the stats and say he didn't do anything. And statistically, they're not wrong. But to really be able to judge an interior defensive lineman, you got to go outside of the stat sheet and watch a little bit about what he did. Given the 4 schools that were early to jump on him after entering the transfer portal or declaring to enter the transfer portal, I'm not really sure how this spring one works anymore because you had freaking Caden Proctor announce he was going to go into the transfer portal and 30 minutes later announce that he was going back to Alabama. So who knows how it works anymore. But Philip has multiple top-notch schools going after him, including Oklahoma, TCU, A&M, Auburn. You've got SEC teams right there in the mix for him. So the fact that he's going for OU spring game, I think points in a good direction for Oklahoma. Usually that environment really gets recruits or transfers in this case to believe in the idea of playing for Venables, Todd Bates, and like you mentioned, this is a guy that does have a family, and one of the big things that these coaches and especially Todd Bates and Miguel Chavis preach is family, and they're big on their own family and getting their players around it. So I'm sure that'll be something that'll be discussed, and who knows about the NIL stuff, but I would suspect that outside of professional development, like you pointed out, NIL will be a piece in this, like it is with everyone else. But he's a family man. You got to be able to support the family, and hopefully Oklahoma, at least from that aspect, can be competitive for him, because as you mentioned at the top of bringing this topic up, he is someone that Oklahoma needs for depth. Maybe not a guy that gets people excited, but you have 2 true freshmen, 2 redshirt freshmen on this roster, and then 3 other guys that have little experience. The one with the most experience might be Devon Sears. They're the 2 with the most experience are DJ Terry and Devon Sears, but then you have Grayson Halton, who's gotten some playing time, but you don't really know what he has as a starter, which a lot of reports about him this spring and winter workouts seem like he's made a splash now 3 years into this program. One of the first guys that committed to Brent Venables in this coaching staff. So hopefully he has a big year, but you got to, like you said, and like these coaches have preached basically every year that they've been here, they need competitive depth. And sometimes the true freshmen just need a little bit of time to catch up, and they've got to prepare for worst case scenario. Injuries happen all the time in football, even though they try to be prevented by the NFL. But these guys are going to get hurt, and you got to make sure someone's there ready to play.
100%. I mean, at the end of the day, you look at the depth. I mean, there isn't a whole lot there. I mean, you lose Jacob Lacey to a medical red shirt, Isaiah Coe, Lalu, Bothered. I mean, there's Jordan Kelly. I mean, there's 4 guys right there off the top of my head that are gone. And not that the interior defensive line was elite to really begin with. And I know you bring in an extremely talented freshman, but I think Oklahoma takes at least 2 interior defensive linemen this cycle because they're going to need more. And this is a guy that's basically 300 pounds, and lining him up with Dejon Terry would be ideal.
Yeah, I wonder if they've looked at moving any of the guys that originally play on the outside to the inside. I know a popular name last year because of how strong he's gotten was Ethan Downs. I don't know if he's quite to that point. And I think he's gotten to the point in his career where shifting him would just be a downfall for his professional, hopes. Because he has been playing on the outside the entire time. Not that he probably can't learn how to play on the interior, but he also would probably want to pack on another 20 pounds because he is listed at 265. Kind of light for an interior defensive lineman. But they have a lot of depth out there. I mean, they have guys coming back like Trace Ford and Ethan Downs. They have new faces in there like Danny Okoye, and then promising guys with a bright future like PJ Adware. So there's a lot of depth on the outside, and they're going to have to make some decisions when on their roster.
Yeah, whatever they said.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, just any last second thoughts on the interior defensive line or anything about?
No, I mean, I didn't really realize how. I don't want to say in need, like we're desperate, but yeah, it's an area it's thinner than I think we originally realized when planning for this video, and it's always good to add a guy that has a lot of snaps under his belt, big body, 6'3", 300. Yeah, it'd be good.
For sure. So that's all I've got. Brandon, do you have in the video? I'm going to throw you on the spot. I know you just got back.
Yeah, I just came back. I'm going to defer to host.
We're going to just go with who all is going to the spring game this year. We're not that far away. About 3 weeks away from the spring game. I'm sure Brandon's going to try to go. We might do some ticket giveaways. We'll see. But let us know if you're going to the game.
I guess we can also do a happy birthday hose in the comments. He is turning like 106 on March 32nd.
Just remember, you're 1 year older.
Yeah, exactly. So if you made it this far, happy birthday, hose. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Apple, and Spotify. Everything's linked in the description below. And we'll catch you guys next time.